able to see everything that we're talking about.
Okay.
Okay, so I think everybody's here who's going to be here today.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So let me go ahead and get started. This is Sue Vaith from DHMH. I just want to thank you guys for attending this training and participating in this. We invited a couple of people who we wanted to take a look at this because we thought that you would get it. Obviously, we're looking for champions for the site, but we also want to just to get some feedback from you about the training itself and things that we might miss or things that we might need to make sure that we tell people about. So you'll have the opportunity after the training. We'll send you a link to the demonstration site for you to fool around in it a little bit. And then we'll just ask you just to shoot us back some emails with your comments. So you can do as much or as little as you think you need to do to give us a little bit of feedback. But I just thank you so much for being here. If we can just do introductions and tell everybody who we are, that would be very helpful. And then I'm going to turn it over to you, Johnny.
Wonderful.
I'm Ann Bryan. I'm from the Cumberland YMCA here in Cumberland, Maryland, and I'm the YMCA's Diabetes Prevention Program Coordinator. Wait, is it? Yes, that's what I am. Sorry.
This is Mary McPherson. I am a program manager here at Washington County Health Department, and I'm also a statewide trainer for the National Diabetes Prevention Program. So I've been a lifestyle coach and now state trainer.
Great. This is Mimi Dean. I am the chronic disease supervisor here at the Worcester County Health Department. I'm also a master trainer for the National DPP, and I've been a lifestyle coach since 2012.
Great.
And everybody?
That's everybody from our side. How about you guys from COA?
Okay, this is Lindsay McIntosh. I'm Executive Director at COA, the Consortium for Older Adult Wellness. And I know I've met some of you before, and Sue and I are pals from way back now. So we are very excited. I'm going to turn it over to Joni and let her go through the basics with you. Just know that this is a very robust site, but don't let that make you nervous, because what we want to do is show you the pieces and parts that you will first be interacting with, and that's where you need to get started, and then we can go deeper as we move through the project together. So our goal today is to make you feel comfortable, but also give you an idea of what's all available to you. So please feel like this is an open conversation with Sue and with your pals at COA to help you walk through all this. So Joni Saunders is our program coordinator and is our specialist in working with Workshop Wizard, so she's taking it from here.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. Again, I'll be your Workshop Wizard guide. I'm also a program coordinator here at the Consortium for Older Adult Wellness. I've been a lifestyle coach now since 2013, and just became a master trainer through DTAC. And so what's kind of great about this is that as I learn more things that I need as someone who's implementing the program, we're able to add that to the Workshop Wizard. And so we're going to get started. And as I go through these sections, if you have any questions or I'm going too fast, please slow me down and let me know. Again, this is a robust system, so playing around in it is going to be very helpful. And again, Workshop Wizard is our software as a service, and usually it is used to track community evidence-based curriculums. And so it's really developed from our need to be able to keep organizational contacts, manage our class information, report our certificate criteria, process our referrals, and really check to see our enrollments and get people enrolled into our community classes. And so I'm going to start with this People tab up here, and this is where all of our contacts are going to be tracked. And whenever I say contacts, this is going to be people who maybe are our new NDPP lifestyle coaches. This may be different organizational contacts. This may also be someone who might be a master trainer. And so these are all of our contacts. These will not be our referrals or our participants in our classes. And so I'm going to leave this search page just for a little bit, and I'm going to come back here once we've gone through a few of these tabs. And so I'm going to start with General. And General is going to be where we add a new contact. And if you look over to the right, these are going to be our different types of people. Now, these are going to be some search functions later. And so when we add a new contact in, we want to make sure we mark if that person's a master trainer, if that person is a T-trainer or a volunteer, and you can mark as many of these as possible and what you might need to search later. If you find that as you're going through your workshops that you might need a different people type, then you would be able to add those by communicating with Sue, and she can add a different people type. Again, this might be something that we learn as we continue through different trainings and as you continue to work with Workshop Wizard. So again, this general area is going to be where we add a new person. And in here, I'm going to go ahead and add a new person. And this is just going to be some examples.
So the way adding people and adding information to Workshop Wizard works is you first tell the system what you want to do, add a person. Then you add the person and add the information, then you're going to save the changes. But that's the basic way it works in every situation that we're going to show you. You tell the system what you're going to do, you do it, then you save it.
Okay, so as you see, I am filling in basically Amy's information. And this organization is very important because this is going to link over to our referring entities, our individuals. It's going to help with our site. So as much as you can enter in the organization information, that's going to be very helpful later. Of course, you'd enter in cell phone information, as much contact information as you can. And then I'm going to go over here again and add what kind of people type that we are currently working with. Okay, I'm going to make Amy a site contact. And again, remember to save your changes.
And I can't reiterate that enough. Save changes every single time, because if you forget to do it and go to a different tab, it doesn't save your changes.
Yep, very good. So let's say that Amy, we're going to have Amy become a lifestyle coach. And so one of the tabs we have here at the top is certificates. And again, we're going to tell the system what we want to do specifically for Amy. So I'm going to add a certificate, and I'm going to say that Amy is a lifestyle coach. She's gone through training, so she's currently active. And I'm going to indicate that she's DPP. And then I'm going to go through and actually set the expiration date of that actual curriculum. So we're going to make it. So I'm doing it a year from now so that we will be able to check later to see when Amy's certificate might expire, or we need to possibly do a fidelity, get Amy in to facilitate. And again, I'm going to go ahead and say Save Changes. So if I went back to my search, and then again, I'm going to show you several search functions. I'm just going to search General so you can see all the names, but that we have Amy in here. And we're able to now see when we go to her certificates, all the information that we've added in that she has a DPP Lifestyle Coach certificate. Now, if we wanted to track the fact that Amy has taken this class, we're going to go down to our DPP, and we're going to add Amy as a lifestyle coach in the Diabetes Prevention Program. I'm going to add her as a student, or we can remove her from here. Now later I'm going to show you how we're able to do this under our workshops if we are going to have Amy actually be a facilitator. So what I'm going to go in here and do now is show you a few of these search functions and how that becomes very important. And so I'm going to go and actually say that we are going to look up the DPP curriculum. This should bring up all of our contacts that are currently part of the DPP curriculum. Now what makes this great is if we need to go in and print actually a standard report, and this is going to be all in real time, we can pull up a quick report of everyone that's associated with that curriculum.
And it goes just that quickly.
And then if we wanted to do a personal history report, we say go. We're now able to pull up each person that was listed under that DPP curriculum and see the dates that they have actually taught or been a participant of a course. And so here, we're able to actually go in and quickly see when someone might need a fidelity or get to teach, or when we might have an expiration. Again, and this is all in real time.
And you noticed on that report that it showed multiple curriculums. So in this case, this person was first a teacher in the chronic disease self-management program, meaning a leader, and then they became a student in the diabetes prevention program, which is where they train to become a lifestyle coach. So both of those are in there, and we can track all of that in one place.
And again, if you scroll down, we're going to have each person's personal history that has been involved in diabetes prevention. Okay, I'm going to go back up. Any questions so far? Go back to Workshop Wizard. Now again, we still have this group pulled up. And if I go to export, it helps to press export.
I think you're in the wrong screen. There.
Well, realistically, this should actually pull up a Excel sheet.
At the bottom.
It probably is. Okay. I'm sorry, this is probably hiding somewhere that I'm not seeing. It pulls up an Excel sheet that quickly lists the names, addresses, contact information of each of the people who is, again, in this pane. So again, that can be specific. There we go. Hooray! So again, this is going to be something that we're able to quickly print. We're able to see people's information, and we can have that all in one place. Again, it's an Excel sheet, so we can use, we can add to it and actually edit different areas of it.
So if you want to do an email blast to everyone that's within a certain organization that's connected to DPP, you can do it this way. Or if you want to pull up mailing addresses, if you want to pull up all the information or information on one person.
Wonderful. Okay. There we go. All right. And so, again, I'm going to go back here to search just because I want to show you a few of the other ways that this becomes very helpful. One, again, we can search people via organization. And go in. We can search people that maybe are in DPP and their certificate's going to expire in 14 months. We get a list of those people. And again, when we go back to people type, we're able to look at things. So I'm going to pull up everyone who is a coordinator. And again, you have to go ahead and check coordinator for those people to be associated with that search function. I'm going to go in and look for everyone who is staff. So again, we're able to pull up any type of standard report that's going to have those people's contact information.
Joni, can you do that one more time a little more slowly?
Absolutely, absolutely. So looking at the search functions, and again, we have several different ways that we can search. So you can search by a person's name, and you'll specifically get just that person. And this is all my information. I go back and I want to search by someone who just a specific organization. And now here's Amy that I added earlier, and Brian. I can also go up and I can search anyone who has taught DPP, let's say in the past 12 months. And all of these can also be used together. So you can get very specific on these searches. And then we're going to look at certified. It's going to say lifestyle coach. Go with DPP. Let's say that their certificate might expire in 14 months. Now we have a list of all those people. Again, we can print this so we can quickly see their contact information.
And also to see the importance here of making sure you have all the contact information put in real life.
That's absolutely correct. Again, this system is going to be as strong and useful as the information that's entered into it. And so when looking up specific people, any type of contact that you might have, if you're establishing a new site with a new organization and you have a new contact person, you want to enter in as much information as possible and also identify that person as a site contact, because we can then search all of our site contacts. And any of these people types can be searched specifically, or they can be searched in congruence with other people types. And again, this is dynamic in the sense that if you find there's an additional type of people contact that you would like to have in here, that can be added. It won't be able to be added from you as a coordinator, but it will be able to be added from your administrator. Are there any questions currently about the People tab and how it's used?
Nope. I don't have any questions.
All right. Okay, so what we're going to do now is go to sites. And sites are going to be specific sites that are connected with an organization. So if you have organization Wellness Care Inc., then this is going to show the sites that are affiliated with Wellness Care Inc. So I'm going to go to sites here, and I'm actually going to add a site. I'm going to give it a site identifier. I'm going to pull up my new contact that I was just talking about. Again, you want to fill in as much information here as you possibly can. I'm just going to save time on that. I'm going to go ahead and then put together an organization. Now we're saying that this organization oversees the site YMCA 3. And then I'm going to save that change. This is going to be important as we move into workshops. So again, this is where that organization information becomes very important. Are there any questions currently, and you'll see how this site information works just in a bit. Any information currently or questions about the site area? Okay. Well, now kind of get excited. For me, as a program coordinator, these next areas, these next sections of Workshop Wizard is really where the system, the software as a service, where the rubber meets the road. This is where in workshops we're going to set up our classes, and we're going to identify where they're located, start times, end times, organizations they're affiliated with. We're also going to add our members. And members is going to become very important, and I will show you in a bit why that's important for DPP. So let's go into workshops. I'll come back to the search function in just a bit, but I'm going to go into general. And again, I'm going to tell the system what I want. So this is going to be a new workshop, and we're going to go in and we're going to identify, because DPP does not have specific license holders, you don't necessarily have to add this in here. However, you certainly can. But I'm going to go straight to curriculum, and I'm going to say that we are establishing a new DPP class. And we are going to put that class at the new site that we just identified. Our start date, let's say that we started on 01/06/2015. So we started yesterday.
16.
Oh, sorry. No, yeah.
There you go.
Perfect. And we are going to end this at 12. Okay, and this is a guess on the date. So after almost a full year here, we're going to say that that is when. Is today Wednesday? Tuesday? No, today's Wednesday. Sorry, my day is hard. Today is Thursday. Okay, so yesterday was Wednesday. Yeah. Wonderful.
You got it.
I'm going to say my contact here is Amy Jo. So remember, whenever I set up Amy, I identified her people type as a contact for this, not only this facility, but also affiliated, identified as a contact as a person. I will go in here, and this is where I would identify any internal comments that I might have. So I might say this is a community class. And website comments might be where I come in and tell the user of the website, so someone who might be a participant later, what the NDP actually is. I know on our side we fill in quite a bit more information, but this is just for example purposes. And then I'm actually going to save my changes.
So those website changes are eventually what's going to show up on a public website. And the internal comments are what are going to stay internal. So you can make notes about, for example, the workshop participants have to be careful to not let the door lock, or that advise participants to park in the back, or anything like that. That's an internal thing. And then when anything that's in the website comments, you're going to want to make politically correct.
So this might be if you're having a special study or you're aimed at a specific target market. And again, you would want to save your changes. And again, this information on website comments is going to pull through to your public website. So now I'm going to go in and show you a few of the search functions. And so go back to search, and as you see currently, nothing is marked. And there are a few different ways that we're going to be able to search. So one way I can search is specifically by site. And this would pull up all the classes that are under that specific site. So under General, pulls up, again, that January 6th class I just set up. Let's go to a different site and pull up. So here we have the other class that is happening, CDSMP at Mountaintop West. So that's how we would search by site. And again, you can use multiple search functions here to get very specific. You can go in and search all classes that are from past, present, or future. We can also go in and search specific organizations. So again, that's the class I just set up with the YMCA, and that's one of the sites that it is connected to. I can also go in, and what I'm going to do here, and I'm going to pick all DPP classes in general. And these are all the DPP classes that have been scheduled. Go back into search. And if we wanted to look at just a custom class, I'm going to look at the class I just put in.
So for this purposes, if you want to pull up just what's happening this year, just what happened last year, just what happened 1 quarter of 1 year, this is the way to do it.
Okay. And these are going to be all the classes that are in that specific timeline. If I want just this specific class at this location, I'd say Site, and then I'm going to go ahead and just that specific class will show up. Now, one area that's very important, especially for DPP, is you want to go into membership and you want to put in who are the facilitators that you're going to have for that class. Now, if the facilitator is entering in the information, you want them in there. However, if a program coordinator, so one of you that happens to be the one entering in the information, you want to add yourself as a member. And whenever I say the information, this is going to be the weigh-ins and activity. So I'm just going to put myself in here, for example. And so now I'm currently under membership. And then I'm going to add Amy, since we've been talking about her.
So you're in as a member of the class.
As a member
in the class.
No, I want to actually, I'm going to make this, we want to make this facilitator. I apologize.
So then you got to.
Yeah. What's also nice about the system, as you just saw, is if you need to delete or remove someone, it's not going to just do that automatically. It's going to ask you if you are for sure that that's what you want to do. So again, I want to enter myself in here now as a teacher and a member. And I'm going to go ahead and again add our example, Amy. Okay.
And then what you're saying is the program coordinator you want to also add in as a teacher in that area, so that that person, even if they aren't teaching and in front of the class, has access to be able to enter the information.
So in this example that we're looking at, we're considering Amy our facilitator and I'm the program coordinator. So if Amy is not going to be entering in weigh-ins or activity numbers, then, and I will be receiving that information to add it in, then I want to be identified here. Now the reason why is when we go to look at our DPP information, we're actually going to go into my workshop. I am logged in currently. So since I'm logged in, it's going to show me all the workshops that I am affiliated with. Here's the one we just added. So again, if you're the coordinator or the facilitator and you're logged into the system, you're only going to see the workshops you are working with. You would not see the workshops that someone else is working with. All right. I'm going to go back to workshops and I'm going to come back to my workshops so that we can talk about entering DPP data. So we're going to continue on with our workshops here. Again, we have all of our search information. Again, we want to make sure as much information as possible is entered into general. I can't state enough how important that is that we have our information about our membership. Paperwork is going to be where we track any type of paperwork that has come in and if someone has done a fidelity. And we can also print or export specific information about classes. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to search all general DPP. I'm going to go to print. I'm going to print a report here. And this is going to quickly show me all my diabetes prevention program classes that have been set up. I'm going to go to export. And this took a little bit last time.
It's going to pop up at the bottom.
Yeah. And as that's waiting, There we go. There it is. Then all the information comes up, again, as an Excel sheet that you can edit and modify as you need. Okay, let's close that out.
Let's close that. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. All right. So again, this is kind of where I get excited. We're going to move on to workshops and now show you how to handle referrals coming in. So any referral, regardless of whether or not they're enrolled. And this is also going to be where we enroll people into classes. Prior to moving on, are there any questions about workshops? Okay.
And we are going to go back and show you more about your particular workshop.
My workshop,
yes.
Correct. Okay. So here I'm going to start with referring entity. And referring entity is going to be possibly an organization that is referring into a specific program. And so this could be if we were going to say, one, again, tell the program what you want to enter in. And we're going to say that we are receiving referrals from, and again, this is going to be an example.
You've become a doctor.
I know, isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I wish that was how easy it worked.
Yeah.
So we just added me as an entity. Now, if I was part of a health system, I could also identify the health system that has been added. I'm going to keep me currently just as an entity. Now, under Joni's MD, I'm going to add a specific person. So I'm going to go in. And now my husband is an MD, but he is actually working at my practice.
Way to go, Joni.
Yeah, right? So I'm going to save those changes. Now, Scotty Saunders is now associated with the referring entity. So he is going to be the referring individual. Now, when I receive a referral, so I've received a fax copy, possibly a referral through a secure email system, I'm going to go in. I'm going to start with general. We'll come back again to search. And I'm going to say I want to add a referral. And we're going to pretend Tom Jones has been referred from Scotty Saunders, who's again linked together with the Joni MD practice. Again, you want to put as much information about Tom Jones as you can into the referral. Okay, and I'm going to currently save this change. So currently, Tom Jones is just a referral. And let's say I called Tom Jones on the 6th, and I want to make sure I'm able to share that information about Tom Jones if another coordinator is going to follow up or receives information from Tom. You want to know, and also for yourself, for past reference. So I'd go into past contacts. I'm going to add a contact. I'm going to say that Sue is going to be the coordinator that's handling this. I personally like to put the time in, and the reason why is if I see a pattern that Tom Jones is never home at 10 a.m., possibly I should wait till 4:30 and at least try a different time. Okay, and then I'm going to save that change. So if I went to Stan Bills, Stan currently doesn't have any past contacts. Again, if I go to Tom Jones, his information is here and the past contact that I have had. If I need a next contact with Tom Jones, I'm going to actually say I need a new contact with Tom, contact needed, and say that I'm going to look at Tom and call him back on the 8th. Now, how this is going to work, that next contact, is that on the 8th, if you need to identify people who are going to be your next contact, then you want to search on the 8th, people due for contact, and Tom's going to pull up. So now again, I have several different ways I'm going to actually search. But first, I'm going to put Tom, my referral. Let's pretend he's talked to his wife. He wants to get in the class. And so now I'm going to go through and I'm going to put Tom in the class that we just set up starting yesterday at YMCA 3. Now I'm going to save changes. I'm going to go back to search here, and now we're going to look at several different ways that we are able to search for a specific person. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to say Tom, and it pulls up Tom Jones. Also pulls up everyone else related with the Tom beginning. I'm going to go back in, I'm going to search, and I'm going to search everyone who is currently enrolled into, look for a good one, the people enrolled. Oh, that's what I'm looking for, people enrolled. And these are going to be all the people that we have already enrolled into this class. What's great about this is now I can go in, and this is going to be great for a few different reasons. I just set up a report that I can use as a class role. More importantly, is if you are working with a system that needs to find out information about their different referrals and who has been enrolled to a class or worked with an organization, this is going to pull up that information, and that you're able to see that who they're enrolled by and who they have been referred by. So this specific class has been referred by several different organizations, and this is the class that they have been referred into. Okay, and go back to search here. Again, to show you real quick how it looks. Search again. Tom's going to be our first person. And this I wanted to show you because this is showing you my past contact over here that I called Tom. And then it's also showing you my notes for whenever I need to contact Tom again. Any questions so far about the search and the referral function?
Now, this ability to do a report back to health systems and to your participating entities and referring individuals is a lifesaver, and it makes you feel very smart because for one reason you can look at the notes you've made and remember where you were in the conversation when last you talked. So it makes you feel much more connected to the people that you're talking with. On the other side, the health system and the referring entities can see the contacts that are made and what we're learning about the interactions with their patients or their clients. Are they interested in coming but they don't have a ride? Are they interested in coming but they're scared to go out in the winter? Are they not interested? Do they not understand they have that they are pre-diabetic? All of those kind of things we can capture in those reports and get back into the hands of the referring entities and individuals. And we get lots of great kudos from that. It's one part of it.
So for example, we have a referring entity, let's say it's Briargate, and we want to be able to send them back a referral log of everyone who has been referred by Briargate. And this is also going to show us everyone who's been enrolled that has been referred by Briargate. Search, Briargate's done quite a few referrals. I do print. Now I can show Briargate when I've made calls, how many classes have been completed, and where people have been enrolled for classes that will, classes they have been enrolled in. And again, this is really great because I can now share this with Briargate. I share mine whenever I'm working with a referral entity or individual specifically. I share mine usually weekly or every other week. Now, when we go to Handler, and we were talking about those past contacts, Handler, and again, we're going to add a handler, and say we want to make Amy someone who can now add a past contact. And save changes. I go back into my referral. I'm going to look at Tom, who has been enrolled in this class. I'm going to go to past contacts, add a contact. Now Amy shows up as one of the people who can possibly have a past contact with Tom. Okay, so Handler is pretty easy. However, again, if someone else is going to be looking at these referrals, you want to make sure that a handler is put in there. Any questions on the referring area? Wonderful. Well, now, this is specific to DPP, or NDPP, and also to YNDPP. And under my workshops, again, this is going to be where I am able to enter in information about my participants and also run their graphs and progress. And so this is going to be weigh-ins and activity areas. So again, this is going to show all the classes I am currently involved in. So I'm going to go in to Carter Hills, and I'm going to say I want to manage this program, this workshop. And I'm going to enter in weight and activity. So I've had 2 sessions so far. And for these first 2 participants, I have recorded their weight and I have recorded their activity. I need to add a participant. Again, I'm going to add another participant in here. And let's say Edie started this first one, and she was at 260 pounds and currently only getting about 50 minutes of activity. Let's save those changes. I'm ready to continue work. I'm going to go back out, manage my workshop, and I'm going to be looking at Carter Hills. And I can go to my next session and enter in those people's information. So if they attended a class, I'm going to put that in there. Let's say Edie has gone to 155 and her activity level has gone up to 70 minutes. Again, save changes. Okay. So what becomes pretty great about this is now I'm able to print graphs specifically for those individuals. We have the capability of emailing those graphs specifically to each person, or just printing a specific graph. I'm going to go ahead and say next. And as you can see here, it's showing Edie's progress. So here's our activity level over time. So first session, second session. First session, second session for Edie, an activity level.
So she's losing weight and exercising more.
Way to go, Edie.
Yeah.
Okay, let me come out of there. I'm also able to print roster. So this is going to give us everyone that is currently where we are in a roster. And then again, this is going to be very helpful for tracking that information over time. Now we are working on a way that we are, and this should be coming soon, a way to export this information with all into an CVS Excel sheet where all this information will be produced so that you can actually export that to the CDC for reporting procedures. So any questions currently at that point?
So this is Mimi from Worcester. So I do have a question actually. So this actually puts people's names in there. When we turn in data to CDC, we never put people's names. It's always an identifier number. There's no personal information ever shared.
And everything that is
how that works.
Or saved. Whenever we're adding in participant information, I'll come here. Let's start with the batch. These are 3 different people with all of their information. So this is currently for CDS&P, but as you can see, they are de-identified.
So what is happening is you're tracking the workshops and the weight with the real names within the workshop so you can identify them. When you are exporting that information, for example, to the CDC report, or if you're going to be pulling participant information, it will all be de-identified.
Okay, good. I was just concerned about that. Okay.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And that's a good, yes, yes. So. I don't know if it's, it's done. Okay. So as you can see, we do have our site, but on here we have de-identified the participant. And again, this is set up for CDS&P. So as the reporting measures for CDC, again, we will have a participant identifier and the information collected, height, weight, activity. But in addition to that, race, ethnicity, and
all those different parameters across the top. Okay, good.
Absolutely.
And it'll be set, we're working with CDC on setting it up so it's exactly how they want it, when they want it, et cetera, et cetera. So it'll be a really easy export for you to do, which is the goal. And that's coming soon. It just isn't in the demo version, which is what we're playing with now. But I anticipate by the time we go live with your site, it'll be in there.
Okay.
Okay, so one last thing to show, and this is how to run reports. These reports are different than what we are talking about with collecting data for the CDC. These reports are going to be very useful to share with organizations that we're working with. We can specifically share information with sites. We can compare classes, so what organization, how they're compared to another. So it's a quick way for us to see data. I'm going to go in, and I'm going to say that I'm going to run a report for Santa Fe classes, meaning my organization. Currently, I'm just going to do a 1-column report, and then I'll show you how a 2nd-column report works. And I would like to look at all the information of all the curriculums that Santa Fe has actually taught. I'm going to look specifically at Santa Fe. I'm looking specifically at their organization, so I'm going to choose them. And then I'm going to say next. I have 1 class. I'm going to say next and finish. Oh, I was not meaning to do that. All right. So what's good about this information? One,
Wonderful.
So if you need to add footnotes, graphs, anything you might need to add, if you don't want to share that information with those you're sharing it with, you are able to quickly manipulate that. So what this shows me is for that one class, I had an average of 20% per workshop. I had 20 people actually enrolled, or actually showing up for at least one class. Out of that, the number of people who completed 4 or more sessions, I had 15 out of 20, so it shows you my information, my 75%, which is a really good completion rate. And it also shows me the number of people in this class who were also caregivers. As we go down, it shows us our demographic information specifically for that class. And again, this is general information for this organization, so that we are able to share that with the organization. Again, this is not going to show us what specific participants currently have or how this relates to specific participants. I'm going to close this out and I'm going to go to run a 2-column report. I'm going to create a new one. Now, this time I want to see how Santa Fe, the organization, is really doing compared to all other organizations. I'm going to say this is 2 columns. Column 1. Again, I'm going to look at all the curriculums. I just want to look at Santa Fe, which should be already selected. Wonderful. I'm going to go next. I selected it. I'm going to go next. So now I'm going to look at all other organizations. So here I'm going to take Santa Fe out because I've already looked at them and that's who I want to compare. Take them out. Say next. Now look at all the other organizations. And now I can see Santa Fe versus, I guess I could have put compared, but look at that. Also enable it.
There you go.
I
like that feature.
Right? So now I can look at how one organization compares to all the others in the state. And so, or all the others for specific curriculum. Or I can look at that specifically for one organization versus another. Again, that comparison, and we can manipulate both sides of it to add footnotes or any type of explanation you would like to add to it. Of course, again, this is all in real time pulling up.
What I will also say is one of the things we do when we set up access is that we decide whether you have access to one organization's information or multiple organizations' information. And that decision rests with Sue, so that Sue may be able to look at Santa Fe versus Cumberland. But unless you are Cumberland or Santa Fe, you can't look at the 2 pieces. So that's all established when we set you up to have access to the system. So we're very careful about who sees what data, even if it is de-identified.
And although you will not have this feature to be able to manipulate, again, your administrator will. Basically what Lindsay's talking about here is that we can limit access here under access. So this is all the actual functionality of Workshop Wizard. And as you can see, for people who are coordinators and working with NDPP, this is going to be really the only part of the functionality that you will need. And so I limited that. And again, I can make this specific organizations for each person that they can have access to. So again, when we are looking here, a few things to point out. One, that it's a secure site, and especially once we go live, it is in HTTPS, showing that it is a secure connection. It is protected with standard security procedures, and the data is all encrypted. And the information is being backed up, backed up in an encrypted form, so that we are able to, in case something happens, able to keep the information. And we do keep access, meaning mainly me, but also Lindsay and Harry. Harry's our IT person, so that we can walk through any issues that you might have. We can add features and we can make changes as you see fit, or we might find a better functionality. That's what's one of the things that makes this great as a website. You can actually access this on any internet connection. It does have a unique login. It also allows that if we make changes or enhancements to one Workshop Wizard license that we feel can apply to all others, there's no downloading. It will show up specifically in your functionality. So that's a pretty quick overview.
Good.
Any questions currently about participants or reports?
Nope, it's great.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And of course, I'm here. We do have a user's guide, and so again, part of having this license is that you have that access, and we are able to record trainings and hopefully get you going. Maybe a little bit of a process until you played with it and gotten in and seen which areas connect. However, it's robust and very, very functional for a coordinator and entering in any type of community classes. Lindsay, do you have anything to add?
I just want to say, there's some nice little shortcuts that we will show you later when we do the big full training. We just really wanted to give you an overview of how it works so that you can play with it and then give Sue some input on areas that you want to see us really focus on when we're doing the training for the people that you're working with. So that was our intention. And also, just keep in mind this is demo data. So you will see Bullwinkle Moose is enrolled, and you will see that
Joni is an MD.
Joni's an MD. Sometimes I'm an MD too. And you'll see there are some duplications in terms of people, just because multiple people are playing with the demo data. So that's all I want to say. Sue, I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, thanks. All right, well, so as a follow-up to this, what I will do is we'll send the recording of this training out to you in case you want to listen to it again, but I will also send you a link to the demonstration site with some rights to go in and play around. And then you'll play around and see what you think, and then send us some feedback for the training. And we don't yet have a date for the training. We're looking at having this go live sometime in mid or late February. That's what we're shooting for, and we're hoping that we'll be able to pull that off. So I just wanted to give you an idea of what we're talking about there. But if in the next week or two you could go in and fool around in here and then just give us some feedback, that would be very helpful.
And I would like to say, as kind of being the Workshop Wizard guide, how important, to really put down any issues you might be having. What I'm basically saying is don't hold back, because we can only fix what we know. I can only give feedback to what we know or change my training for that. And so we really appreciate your time on going through and testing and playing with the system.
Do you have any suggestions on what we should do first as we play with it? Are there a few fields we should do first?
Yeah, what I would do first, I would actually go in, add any people contacts that you might have, and make sure they're linked to the appropriate organizations and their people type has been identified. The next thing I would do is go into workshops. And you want to set up a workshop as soon as you know the date and location and organization you're working with. The reason why that becomes very important is because that's going to push through to your public website, and so that the public is able to identify which classes you have available, and it's able to show other people that are going into the system that maybe are working with multiple referring entities where all the classes are currently being held and when those dates are actually happening. So those are kind of my orders that I would go into.
Right. You'll have the option, too, of adding classes that you're currently holding. So if you want to enter the data into here and use that functionality, then you'll be able to do that. You don't need to, but we would ask that any future classes, once we go live, that you do that.
And one other important feature of how this is going to be used is that when you go to referrals, that class will only show up if you have it listed in your workshop. So if you can enroll someone into a class, then the only way I can enroll this person into the class is if I have set it up in the workshop.
Okay.
So any other questions?
So who's going to have this? Who's going to have access to this, I guess?
Well, you're all going to have access to it. It's a public website. This piece is the private. There are actually two kind of websites. There's the back end and then the public end. So we will determine who from each of the organizations will have access and how much access they're going to have.
Okay, so let me get this right. It'll be like the nurses, the case managers in our community would go into the website and they could see what classes are coming up and they could enroll people into my class.
They could make referrals.
Okay, they could make a referral and then I contact them and make the enrollment.
That's right.
That's correct.
And then all the other stuff I'll be managing. Right?
That's right.
That's correct. And I want to go back to what Sue was talking about with having those past classes, as much data in there as possible, is that it will be able to allow you to run historic data reports compared to data reports that are currently happening present or in the future.
Okay. So as I
how will healthcare providers learn about this website?
Wow, that was really echoey.
The providers are actually going to be the ones that providing the referring entities and individuals that will be referring into your program. And so the providers themselves, unless they happen to be a lifestyle coach or a master trainer, won't have access to the system. They will only be able to see your public website and the information about your classes.
So part of what DHMH is doing the marketing and the outreach to promote what is coming with the public website and the availability of making referrals.
Right. That's going to be a part of it, and the other part of it will be as you partner with healthcare organizations to be able to link them to this as well. So if you are involved, for example, with the FQHCs in your area, you can be adding them in as referring entities and individuals, and that way you don't have to enter them in every time, so they can continue to make referrals through that.
And I would also establish if you have a contact at that organization, to go ahead and put that as much information as you can about that person under people, because again, we have a people type that lists an organizational contact. If we do site contact, that again is going to show up under site.
So as administrators, you're going to have the ability to put the information in about sites, workshops, the referring entities, referring individuals, and that way, as you make partnerships with healthcare organizations, you can get them in here.
Any other questions? Well, thank you all for your time, and again, I'm looking forward to hopefully you guys. I'm looking forward to you using this the software as a service. Again, it's been very useful as a coordinator. So good luck, play around, and let us know what your feedback is going to be, and I will pass it along to Lindsay and Sue.
Great.
Great.
All right, thank you. All right,
Thanks so much, everybody. You can expect an email from me probably tomorrow as a follow-up to this.
Okay,
Thank you.
All right, thanks, everybody. And thanks again,
Thanks.
Joni and Lindsay.
Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you. Talk to you soon.
All right.